Shalom. All right, this is your brother Samak with another lesson in transit today. But before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, and double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS, and blessings to the brothers and sisters that are sincere in his truth, ultimately those that are of the house of the elect. All right, so today's topic, I want to talk about your diet and how your diet gives you light. Right? So I'm not sure how I'll entitle this lesson, but it's going to be about diet, lifestyle, and how it gives you light, and why it's so important. Right? So why is it so important? Right, first of all, let's talk about your diet. Right, your diet is pretty much what you consume. Right, so you have a physical diet, right, meaning the food you eat, the liquids you consume, and then you have a mental and spiritual diet, which is the information, the entertainment, the knowledge that you consume. Right, so your diet is very important on both those regards, the mental and the physical. Right? So let's talk about the physical diet. Right, the foods you eat. So the foods that you should be eating right now, there's no one size fits all. Right? Your diet is specifically how you eat. Okay, I don't believe that anybody should. The concept of going on a diet, I don't believe in that. The terminology, how it's used. Your diet is what you eat, how you eat. So, how should your diet be? Again, there's no one size fits all. But your diet should be that of whole foods. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Your diet should consume of primarily whole foods. 90%, 95% whole foods. I'll give you 90%, right? 90% whole foods. Meaning single ingredient foods. Produce, fruits, vegetables, potatoes, sweet potatoes, russet potatoes, certain grains like quinoa and rice and lentils, right? Those are foods that you should consume, right? Single ingredients. Now, you can also have modified whole foods, right? Which are simply foods that are a combination of single ingredient foods and single ingredient whole foods, not processed like a protein bar, which will contain certain chemicals and certain things that are created that are not necessarily whole. So what does that look like? Bread, for example. Now, you have processed bread, you have highly processed bread, you have very low processed bread. It's still processed because it goes through a process, right, to create it, right? So bread itself is processed, but it is healthy processed food. So bread you should be consuming should be whole wheat or like Ezekiel bread, which is just a combination of really good grains, spelt, a few others, right? Then you have my personal favorite, sourdough bread, right, which is actually really gut healthy. Right? It has good gut bacteria that feeds your gut microbiome. So, and it's really delicious too, and crispy. So you have sourdough bread. Sourdough bread, when you get a good quality sourdough bread, if you don't make it yourself, it's a process, but even making your own bread is good. But sourdough specifically, when you buy a good sourdough from a fresh bakery, it usually contains like 3 or 4 ingredients. And it's usually the sourdough culture, right? The sourdough culture, the flour it's used, which is usually whole wheat flour, and usually it doesn't contain yeast, right? If you get a good one, it won't contain yeast. It'll have, because the culture itself would be with the leaven in it. So you got the flour, the sourdough culture, some sea salt or Himalayan salt or whatever kind of fresh salt is used, natural salt, and that's about it. Maybe some baking powder, and that's about it. You know, usually that stuff's in the culture. So usually about 3 or 4 ingredients, man. Healthy bread, good for you. Okay, that's how you need to be eating. All right, you need to avoid the processed foods, the sugary foods, as much as possible. All right, and you will be okay. All right, and I'm an advocate for making your own treats, making your own snacks. If you want to make snacks, like I'm really into baking. I've always had a sugar and sweet tooth in the world, and I still struggle with it from time, and I'm fighting, right? Because it's a constant fight. But what I've learned is that when I'm craving something sweet, I make it myself. So I'll make my own cookies. I have my own recipe. I make it from scratch. I'll bake my own banana bread, and I'll switch up the recipe. Sometimes I'll do it like a chocolate banana bread or a chocolate banana brownie. And it's a handful of ingredients, maybe like 6 or 7 ingredients to make it, and none of it is processed. All right, no processed ingredients. All right, all single ingredient foods combined together to make a specific product, which is still healthy, right? So those are the kind of multiple ingredient foods you should be eating. And usually when you have those, it's usually less than 10. Okay, so those how you should be eating. And your diet is directly associated with your mood, your energy. When your diet is clean and you eat good foods, you feel good, right? It happens. You feel good, and when you feel good, you have more energy. You have more energy, more drive. You have your purpose you're more purpose driven, right? Your gut is your second brain. So it's very important that you focus on how you eat, because the scriptures say that a good body and health is above gold, roughly paraphrasing. And it's very important, very important. Our bodies are a temple. Whenever you think about eating some bullshit, just think about it like this. Your body is a temple, and you don't abhor your body, right? You don't abhor the temple of the Lord, right? Your body is a temple of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and you don't abhor it, right? You don't mistreat it. You don't abuse it, all right? And when you're craving something, you get it, a clean version of that, or you make it yourself, man. And every so often, very seldom you may, have a taste for something specific, and you might get that, and that's okay, right? But 95% of the time, you need to be on point, bro. You need to be eating good, because I know from experience that when I'm faltering on my diet and I go down a binge of just eating crap, I've noticed that my productivity decreases along with it. My energy levels decrease, because when your energy levels are low, your productivity is low, right? Your discipline is low. So you have to be on point, because your discipline is directly results to your production, right? So if you're trying to produce good things in the spirit, right, you have to eat good, bro. Your diet has to be on point, and your diet has to be on point as well as what you consume, right? So if you're consuming spiritual things, you're consuming philosophy, right? Because I'm really big in philosophy, which is goes into stoicism, all those highly disciplined practices, conquering the mind, overcoming impulses, things like that, right? That's that philosophy. When you're into that consumption or that diet of that type of content usually yields to production and making better choices. So usually when you consume that type of information, your diet is a result of that. How you eat, how you take care of yourself, right? You start to love yourself more, man, because you should love yourself in this truth. We don't love our lives, meaning we don't love our lives here in Babylon, but you love yourself because you are a student of life, right? You are a prince of the power, right? You were given this knowledge and this truth, so therefore you thank the Most High for everything you have. You take care of everything you have, right? Regardless if it's in this world or not, regardless if it's vain or not, you take care of everything. I have a vehicle, right? This car is of this world. Now, I was blessed with the ability to have this car, right? It's a privilege for me to have this car. Most High has blessed me with the job to be able to afford a car. It's a reliable car. It's a fairly new car. So I'm thankful. And in return, right, what I do is I take care of this car. I don't idolize it. I'm not consumed in it, but I take care of this vehicle. I make sure it stays up on its maintenance. I try my hardest to avoid, hitting bumps and crashing into things, right? I don't treat it like shit. And you should look at your body the same way. Your body is a temple of the Lord. The Most High has given you this body. Therefore, you should do everything possible to keep this body poison free. All right, now we know we're going to eat our defiled foods among amongst the Gentiles, but we ultimately have the power of prayer, and you also should have the option to shop as clean as possible. All right, do your due diligence. All right, go out and find where the freshest produce is, organic, non-GMO, non-pesticide, which is essentially organic, which is not sprayed with pesticides. Go out and find the places that have those foods. Go out and find the places that have pasture-raised poultry, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Okay, which basically means that this cow was only fed grass and fresh produce its entire life, and it was raised on the field, right? It wasn't just born in a bin. It was grass-fed, grass-finished, all right, pasture-raised its entirety of his life. All right, that's going to yield the best quality meat. That's going to have the most nutrients, the most minerals. All right, do your due diligence. Now, obviously, if your pocket, if it doesn't fit your wallet, you do the best you can. But again, if you have the money to invest and spend on a lot of other folly, you have the money to invest in your health, bro. I always say there's a few things that me personally, as long as I have the power and the ability, I'm never going cheap on. I'll go cheap on clothes. I'll go cheap on entertainment, a lot of things. But I won't go cheap on my food. I won't go cheap on my living situation. And this is probably about it. I'll drive a hoopty, you know what I mean? But where I live and what I eat, those two things I don't play around with. All right. What I consume into my body and where I lay my head, those two things, I hold value above everything else in this world that is of this world. Because those two things that, for me personally, directly correlate with my spirit, with my morals, all right, with me being an Israelite, with me being a follower of Yahushua. All right. Now, although I say where I live, because I'm using my reality. My reality is that I'm not a pilgrim. I'm not. So until that time comes, I'm going to make sure I live in a very bright environment. I don't want to be in the hood if possible, because it's a bunch of just negativity, violence, destruction. I want to live somewhere I want to be somewhere where people take care of theirs. It's trash all over the place in the hood. I live in Philadelphia, bro. It's hood everywhere, bro. I'm driving through the hood now, but I'm trying to get to my destination. I'm coming from downtown Philly, and it's poverty and, and it's reality, but I call on Yahweh Shem Yahushua that I had the mentality to want better for myself, and you brothers and you sisters should want better for yourselves too. That's ultimately why we're striving for the kingdom. All right, you should want better for yourself, and that first comes down to how you treat yourself. What you consume in your mind, your body, and your spirit. All right, those things would directly correlate to the production that you have in your life. All right, you notice that brothers who don't really care about themselves usually live the most poverty. They live in the most poverty. All right, they live in the most negativity. All right, because it's a result of their life. What you consume is who you are, bro. It's just reality. So that's why, as a brother in this truth and a sister in this truth, when you come to know this knowledge, your life should increase. Right? Your life should grow. Your personality, and who you are should grow severely, bro. You know what I mean? Look at this fucking knucklehead, man. Motherfucker's gonna bang out, bro. This is why we need the angels, because the people. You just had to see it, man. Motherfuckers is just in a rush to get nowhere, bro. Just to be at the same light. But we gotta have Yahweh Shem Yahushua, bro, on our side, man. And we have to do right by the Lord, and we have to take care of the things that He has blessed us with. Brothers should be students of herbs, learning the herbs. You should be learning what herbs are good for your body, what herbs you should take daily for, you know, just your daily vitamins to keep your immune system strong. Because, you know, what's going on today is everyone's out here sick, bro. I go to work, everybody coughing, everybody sneezing, and I'm just like, I'm out here. But, you know, that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And first and foremost, and second, how I treat my temple. So take good care of your meat and diet, bro. Take good care of what you consume yourself with, because it's going to give you light. It's going to be what directly shows in your countenance and your spirit. And I know for a fact that when I'm, like I said, when I'm eating clean, I'm doing good, which 90% of the time I am these days. And I wasn't always this way. It took trial and error. It took a lot of time, a lot of failures to really get to this philosophy that your health is wealth, bro. It's everything. When this is gone, it's gone, bro. All right? No matter what you have, you can have all the riches in the world, but if you ain't got your health, you ain't got nothing, bro. I'd rather have my health and be in poverty than to be filthy rich in a filthy body, and a sickly body, man. So let that be a motivation, all right, you brothers and sisters. All right, your temple is that of the Heavenly Father. It's godly, and you should treat it as such. So Lord willing, this video was edifying. Until next time, shalom.